Hi everyone, welcome back. I really wanted to film this video for you today. I just fancied it. I've got a list of videos that I keep having ideas thinking, oh, I really want to do that, and I don't get around to doing it. But when I want to do a video, then and there, I just do it. So this has not been one that's particularly been planned. I just washed all of my makeup brushes the other day, like literally every single one. And when I saw them all laid out on the towel, I thought I really want to do a makeup brush collection video, so here we go. I'm just going to start first by using the brush, going through the brushes that I used on my face this morning to do my makeup. I'm actually not particularly happy with this look. My eyes won't stop watering, so it's gone really wrong, and I used some new products that I didn't get on with, but nevertheless these brushes aren't to be blamed for today's disaster. These are all really good brushes. So these are ones that I must particularly like because I reached for them, you know, I had my entire collection to reach for, and these are the ones I reached for. So the first brush I'm going to mention is this stubby little kabuki brush, which is a rounded top. Very similar to the Real Techniques buffing brush, but just the bristles are a little bit longer. So I'll just show you the difference there. And obviously the handle is, actually when you hold them, that's the multitask brush, that's why. So I'll hold it like that. So yeah, so that I thought so. The bristles are a bit longer. I personally use this for foundation, but actually it'd be a really good brush for powder as well. I've never tried it for that, but it would be great for that. And it's also really good for travel. So I got this brush as part of an XC brush set from Amazon, and it's a really good quality brush set. I think it was 10, 11 or 12 pounds including postage, and I've got loads of use out of it. The next brush I'm going to mention was from that same kit. And I've washed these and they wash really well, by the way. They're synthetic haired brushes, and the bristles are very soft. And this one I use every single day for blush when I'm using a powder blush. On the odd occasion I'll use a cream blush, in which case I wouldn't use this, but it's so soft, and the size and shape for me is absolutely perfect for blending out blush. So I do have brushes that are called blush brushes, which I don't use for blush. This one is my go-to for blush. If someone said to me, right, you'll have to buy the whole, I lost this brush and someone said you have to buy the whole set just to get this one brush, I would do it because I really love that brush. So next I'll go on to the brush I use to put powder all over my face today, which isn't the one I usually use, but I really wanted to try it. It's the Real Techniques Duo Fibre brush. So this doesn't, maybe it's because it's duo fibre, it doesn't feel as soft as the other brushes, like the multitask brush to compare, you know, for example, but I do really like it. I think it probably is equally as soft, it just doesn't feel it because the bristles are more sparse, and so you know, they're a little bit scratchy on the ends. Most of you probably know what a duo fibre brush is, but basically it's two different types of fibre. So the black bristles are more closely packed. When you get to the end, when you get to the white bristles, you'll see that there's a lot less of them, and the concept is it's supposed to give you a a lighter application of whatever product that you're using. So I just want a really light dusting of powder, just so that my bronzer and blush and everything will blend on smoothly, and just so my makeup is set, but I don't have oily skin, so I don't want huge amounts of powder. So this is really great for me for that. It also works really well for blending highlight, contour, bronzer and blush together. The next brush I'm going to mention is actually a blush brush. All the writing's rubbed off, and I'm just twisting it around so you can see how it's pinched. This is from the Body Shop, and I used it today for contouring, so because it's pinched, it's perfect, and it just fits in just under my cheekbone here for that's not patchy contour, by the way, that's a little pimple. I don't usually get them, but I've got one here. So it fits really nicely under the cheekbone, and I did a bit around my hairline today. I haven't ever used the brush for that before today. I actually do use this for highlighter on top of the cheekbone, and you could use it for blush. I just don't. I prefer a rounder brush for blush. I don't want like a flat style one because it just packs on a bit too much for me. But I like to use the end for contouring, so I got on really well with it for that. These are quite expensive, these Body Shop brushes, so I'm not sure I would repurchase that, but at the same time, if you want to invest in a set that's going to last you, then these are the ones. I've had this brush and all my Body Shop brushes for over 10 years and they've done me really, really well. They're the first brushes I ever bought. The next brush I love, it's the contour brush. I don't use it for contouring. It's just a bit small for me for that. I don't like too much of a chiselled look. But this is the Real Techniques contour brush, and I use it for setting my under eyes. I've tried it for several things. This is what I prefer to use it for. It's absolutely perfect for setting under the eyes. This brush here is the Deluxe Crease Brush. Now I know a lot of people use this for concealer. I've actually hardly seen anybody actually use it for crease work. But what I like it for is when I put on my Maybelline colour tattoos or my MAC paint pots or any cream based shadow. If I'm doing a one shadow look and I want to blend the cream shadow out in the crease, I'll use this brush. It's perfect for that because it's so sort of dense and fat and stubby and useful. It's actually just like a foundation brush but a teeny tiny version of it, so I really, really like that brush for that reason. Another brush that's very similar but actually just a little bit more precise is a brush I got from Wilko's, and it was really cheap. It was about £3, and it's the Smoky Eye brush. So this, again, the bristles on these Wilko's brushes remind me very much of the Real Techniques bristles. They feel very much like them. They are synthetic, very soft, wash very well, last very well, and I just like the look of them as well. And what I really love this brush for is for buffing out my lower lash line. When I originally got it, I thought I would use it for packing on colour in the outer V, but it's too domed for me for that use. So I use it like an enlarged pencil brush really. I don't usually use it for putting colour on the lower lash line unless I want a really smoky look and it's like a transition colour. But mainly I use it bare for buffing out anything in the lower lash line. This brush I use practically every single day as well, and it's the Real Techniques brow brush. It might be a bit fat for some, but I don't do a very precise brow. You can probably tell to look at them. I just like something that's quick and easy. I can slap my brows on. I've accepted the fact my brows don't match and I'm okay with it. They do look particularly crazy today though. They do look usually nicer than this, but I was in a massive rush to get ready this morning. I use this for cream products and powder products, and I really, really recommend it. I have seen people use it for lash line work. I personally don't get on with it for that because I do find I want a more precise brush for lash line work, but I really, really like that brush. This one at the top, I don't know if you've seen that, it's just I don't use that, it's just a sponge tipped applicator that came with a palette. So these are the brushes I've used today. Quite a lot of brushes for such a simple makeup look, but there you go. And then for the rest of my brushes, I've categorised them depending on brand. So first of all, I'm going to start with my favourite, which is the Real Techniques brushes. Now, don't get me wrong, I say favourite, but you'll notice that none of my brushes are high-end. So if I did use high-end brushes, like MAC or, Hakka Hodo or anything like that, or Wayne Goss, then I might turn around and say they were my favourite, but I've never tried those ones. So for the ones that I've tried, I like my favourites are the Real Techniques. Because they wash well. Now what I mean by that is the bristles get clean, they don't start shedding, and they keep their shape and they dry nicely. So they give me everything I'm after. Compared to, for example, I'll go into a bit more detail in a bit, but there's Zoeva brushes. They are harder more of a pain in the arse to wash, and they're never the same shape that they came in. You can do your best and get it close, but these don't need any work. They just automatically dry in the shape that they started, which is great. They don't need manipulating and faffing on with, because I can't be doing with that. So I'll start with the buffing brush. I don't know how I ever lived life without this. I really, really, really loved it. Love it for foundation. So what I've recently started to do, so it doesn't get too caked up too quickly, is rub my foundation in with my hands and then buff it out with this. But I have in the past put foundation straight onto the end and went straight in. If I do that I actually wash this every 3 days if I was going to do that. Not necessarily for hygiene reasons, but because it's hard to buff your foundation out if it's got gunked up with product, but it washes and dries really nicely. So this is my most washed brush. I don't often wait till the others need doing before I wash that one, and it dries just really nicely on the side. The next is the pointed foundation brush. I haven't really used this very much. When I have used it, I've used it for under eye concealer. So yeah, it's really far too small for me to use as a foundation brush. I can see me sort of cleaning up eyebrows with this if I was ever going to do that, but I don't, because like I said, I'm not a big my eyebrows have to be perfect sort of a person. But yeah, I mean, I think this would be good as well. I think in the past I've used it for packing on a really strong highlight, because the shape of it, if I want it to be banging, I'll put like the highlight on and then blend it out. But yeah, that's an alright brush. The next one is the base shadow brush. Now I don't use this for putting on base shadow, I use this for crease work. I absolutely love this brush, so just as much as my buffing brush I love this one. I suppose the best way I can describe this, the most famous brush I think on YouTube that most people know is the MAC 217. I use this for everything that you would use a MAC 217 for. I just think it's perfect. The bristles are soft, it's sort of pointed, the shape of it is just right. I just love it. You can pack on colour there and you can blend colour out. You could put in a corner highlight. You could do anything with this lower lash line. If someone said to me you could only have one eyeshadow brush to use for the rest of your life, it would probably be this one. And the next one is the accent brush by Real Techniques. It's like a little stubby like a shader but smaller, so that's really nice for precision work. And then you've got the what do you call this, accent, I think this is called the detailer brush, but it's worn off now, and that's I use this for very similar reasons you would use the accent brush for, but I do tend to like to put an highlight when I want a very precise highlight on my brow bone. I've also got the fine liner brush. Now this is a lovely eyeliner brush. It gives me everything I need. I've not bought any others, so it must be good, but I don't wear eyeliner that often, and so, you know, it's not like a holy grail for me. I've got the Duo Fibre eye brush. I bought the Duo Fibre set specifically for this eye brush, and it's the least out of the three I've ended up using. It's really good for when you want, like for example, if you've done an eye look and you think, no, actually I want just a pop of colour on the border. I usually see, I have seen Emily Noel do that quite a few times, just put a pop of colour on the border, and or it's a pigmented shadow. So I thought I would use it for blending out, and it's actually not dense enough for me for that. But it'd be great if you had an eyeshadow that you just wanted to put last minute touches, and you didn't want, you were thinking, right, no, I don't want to go in whole hog and ruin my eye look, I just want to build it up gently just because I've got my eye look almost perfect how I want it, then it's great for that, but I haven't used it that much. Next is the domed shadow brush. I really like this brush. I use it in a similar way to I would use the Deluxe crease brush. It's actually, to me, it's the Deluxe crease brush but just pinched. So really great for concealer, really great for buffing out the lower lash line, really great for the crease and outer V work if you don't want it to be too precise. Really good as well for one shadow looks. I just really like that brush. It's a great brush. It's a very close second to the base shadow brush. Next is the Duo Fibre contour brush. Again, I've not had a huge amount of use out of this. My favourite way to use it at the moment is really pigmented sleek blushes. So I have some blushes that I bought that I thought, oh, they're gorgeous colours, but when they came, really they were just not made for fair skin ladies. Quite the opposite, actually. I'd go as far as to say they were they'd be really good for you know, women with really dark skin tones. But this brush helps me to be able to actually use it. I have tried it for highlighter in the past, but it doesn't give me, you know, enough for that, because like I say, Duo Fibre's for a light application. And the last Real Techniques brush is my multitask brush. I've been using this a lot for bronzer. I took it on holiday abroad with me and used it for everything there, and it was really helpful. So it's just fabulous, not too big, not too small. Again, if somebody, I suppose if somebody said to me, you know, you could only have 3 brushes for your makeup and that's it, I'd literally go for, gosh, these might have actually come in a set for all I know, because I know you usually get these Real Techniques brushes in sets. So you get the buffing brush, the multitask brush and the base shadow brush. If I only could have 3 brushes for the rest of my life, it would be these 3. So I can't speak highly enough, or any more highly, let's say, of the Real Techniques brushes. I've just seen the time of the video, so I think I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to split this video up into sections, which actually might work out really well because I'm getting some new brushes for Christmas, which means I can actually make it a mini series, and at the end of the series I'll show you my new brushes. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Merry Christmas. Bye!